What's up, guys? Welcome back to this weekly review here on Next Mood Swings. We gonna get back into some Dahmer topics. We're gonna talk about Hocus Pocus 2. We're gonna talk about the BET Hip Hop Awards. Kanye over in Paris doing the most. Stay tuned. Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy DJ Jesse J, and you already know I got my bestie. We got Courtney Stewart in the building. Hey,
back.
That's Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj. She dropped the Little Miss remix, and she had 9 dance hall queens on the track. She's calling them the Fine Nine. So at this point, I just want to say, like, we got to stop with the whole Nicki doesn't like other females. At this point in 2022, Nicki Minaj has worked with 14 female artists. Not only that, but has given them a platform. And these are people who, like, some of them I know, or I've like heard stuff, and they've just never really been able to break through mainstream. And then some of them I'm like, oh, girl, all right. But honestly, this one more so than the Super Freaky Girl, because I love finding me some soca artists, some dance hall artists, like, and I just feel like I love that she's embracing it, because I'm just like, yes, like, you know, with Bad Bunny and Spanish music, like, let's get dance hall back. Like, I miss my New York days going to Webster Hall. Like, I'm so here for it.
I know.
It's exciting. So
I don't care for real, but like, I'm excited.
Shout out to her. Something that we can, before we get into that, because, you know, the BET Hip Hop Awards happened, and I thought the VMAs were bad, but let's start out positive. Keke Palmer, love Miss Keke. We love a Virgo. She released that she's releasing Key TV, which is going to be a web streaming service where I'm assuming she's going to be producing shows and all that jazz. She doesn't really have a lot of information out about it, but she put a really cute commercial together, and go Keke. I'm excited to see.
Cute. Like, make some money, girl. Just streaming is making money.
Well, she's going to be making money, because not only that, but rumor has it is that production is already set on Sister Act 3, which she will be starring in alongside Whoopi Goldberg and Bette Midler, which is so exciting.
I'm so excited. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm so excited.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the cover that we see of Whoopi right now with the glasses, it's giving very much The View Whoopi, not like...
I don't care. Dolores, you're fine. It's okay. We all age, honey. We all age.
Agree. And honestly, I'm definitely just here for it, because, you know, I do want to get your thoughts overall without spoilers of Hocus Pocus 2, because I think there's just something to having extremely talented actors. There's just something to say, even if a script is not the best, to see Whoopi Goldberg and Bette Midler together is just gonna be so iconic. So, and you know, I love Keke. I think her personality is very she can do Broadway, she can do she's an actress, so I think the fact that she can do theater is gonna play really well with these two, and I'm just I get too excited.
And she was so hyped when she brought it up on The View. She was interviewed on The View for something, and she like looked over at Whoopi and was like, and you know, Sister Act 3 is happening, honey, and I am ready. And Whoopi was like, girl, I already got you. So like, you were on the radar. So love that for her. Love that for us. I think either way, it's going to be fun. It'll be fun. I think it'll be fun.
Agreed. All right. So you already know last week I was too excited. Like, it wasn't even October 1st, and I was doing, like, we made all the pretzel stuff with the snacks and the kids. Like, the kids was just, my nephews was too into it for Hocus Pocus 2. I was so excited. I watched it. It's gotten very mixed reviews. I think we just need to realize, like, we're adults. You know, so, like, when you watch something like that, like, Hocus Pocus didn't have an amazing script like the original didn't. You know, we loved it because we were like 7 years old watching it, and it was with amazing actresses. So
Yes.
I think the second one did what it needed to do. The only spoiler I will give is that it does look like there could be a third.
Yes. Very
And
possible.
I feel like I know the idea for what the third should be. I thought that should have been the second one, but maybe they're like, let's just see. And they still could set it up to go the way that I would like it to go. But
Okay.
overall, did you like it? Did you not?
I shockingly totally loved it. Like I was completely expecting it to be trash, but I was obviously a fan of the first one, so I'm here. I'm gonna watch the second one and see what they do. I didn't have a party. My good friend Rima threw us a whole party because she is obviously a Hocus Pocus fanatic as well. We had one child there and another friend, and we literally, it's three adult women and one child, and we were laughing out loud multiple times. Like we found the comedy. They worked in diversity without making it look like a diversity hire situation. Like it was just enjoyable, and I personally feel like they still captured a lot of just magic that was nostalgic and sweet and funny and light. And it was just a good watch. Like I was not bored. I was not like, oh, it's not over yet. Like I think they did a great job. I'm not mad at none of it. I know we can't do any spoilers because I want to be like real specific about
Yeah.
like all that I love, but we won't do that because I guess it just came out a week ago, so we're still giving people time. But I think it's worth watching. If you're an actual fan of the original movie, I'm surprised that people have such criticism for the new one because to do a sequel and to do a sequel 30 years later, we could have been in for some hot garbage. And that movie
Mm-hmm.
by no means was hot garbage,
A,
like
mi-
at all.
a million percent. Like overall, great job. The women, to me, my only thing would be the fact that they added other characters took away from just me wanting to see more of the witches. But you have to go back to that original one. The witches were a part of a whole nother cast, so
Oh,
it
exactly.
continued the same. It was literally the same vibe. But
And all I have to say is Walgreens was joy
oh,
upon joy. Like it was just freaking great. Like it was just funny. It was great. And again, what you said about the just great actors, Kathy and Jimmy, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica, y'all are just that was screen perfection in terms of an ensemble group of women doing a moment in a movie. It was great. I loved it.
agreed. So shout out to everyone who was a part of it. And I understand some people are like, I can't watch it yet. It's too early. I'm gonna wait closer to Halloween. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's get into it. Well, I guess actually before I get into that, let's just bang through these real quick. So a couple viral videos that went got everyone in Twitter talking was this Coach Stormy woman. And so I didn't realize I even knew who she was. I guess
Oh,
she
you
was yeah, because so I gotta say it was probably Eric, my best friend. So that put me on to whatever reality show she was on. I want to say it was that, or maybe this was back in the AfterBuzz days. I don't remember, but I do remember watching a clip because now that she did now this clip went viral. Everyone's showing stuff from her past, so they showed this clip, and I was like, oh, I do remember the reality show she was on. It was all the girls were upset because she came across like she was better then. So this clip goes wild, and it's basically her shaming this woman that they're at a pool party or some sort of barbecue, and the one girl has a plate with like 2 cheeseburgers on it, barbecue wings, macaroni cheese, corn, like just it looked like a bomb plate. She was sitting there with the same foods, but like 2 shrimp, a corn, one wing. She had already eaten another, and like little pieces. It was, and she came out to say, your plate is a hood rat plate. Your your plate isn't fit for a queen. My plate is fit for a queen because you know what I mean, like. And so it went viral. Basically, everyone was saying like, "You're a coach. How is this helping somebody, you're basically like slamming her. This is the food you provided. And so whatever. Now everyone's calling her out saying she's a scam artist because she runs a, what is it, one of those pyramid schemes? Like she runs like one of those like Fit Belly tea things. So like, is she a scam artist? We live in the world of scam artists. Like pyramid schemes, you know what I mean? They're illegal, but they're not. They just call them network marketing. So it's like Herbalife or whatever. I did Herbalife. Was it a cult? No. I mean, yeah, there are people who are like really into it, and it's like, I'm just gonna purchase my product. Please stop calling me. I'll just hit you up if I need it. She seems a little more like, I guess she was like a stripper. She has like 3 or 4 different baby daddies. It's like a whole thing that everyone's bringing all her stuff up.
Oh, okay.
My thing is like, I talk about this with my friends often, and it's like, we live in the day and age where everyone's a coach. Everyone is, teaching you something. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, everyone's a trainer. And let me tell you, I've had a lot of trainers in my life, and I don't know if everyone's a good trainer. You know what I mean? It's like everyone calling themselves a DJ. It's like, I don't really think that there's a lot of good DJs out there. You know what I mean? So I think that we just live in the age of like we said, fake it till you make it, And so this Coach Stormy girl, my thing is this, girl, like, this is food that you provided. You over here shaming this girl for her plate. And it just, I don't understand what the lesson is. You're eating like a queen, like, girl, you're eating like frozen corn.
Was it just quantity? Like, so she was basically calling her a fatty, like, girl, you got too much on your plate, like, you need to.
She was not only calling her fat, but she basically was saying she was a hood rat, like ghetto, for having that much of that type of food on her plate. The same exact food she had. But like, she had 2 hamburgers, and she was like, this is what they put on my plate. And so I feel like it was low-key set up for her to have one of these teachable moments, because that's what she does, is she has teachable moments where she kind of like drags. She says, that's me keeping it real. That's me, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like if it's you keeping it real, you would have been like, girl, what? 2 burgers? Like, not you paid 10, because all these women paid $10,000 to be at her thing.
Sorry, they paid how much money?
They paid $10,000 to be a part of this camp, and where she, will train you to be a bad bitch, because that's what.
I clearly missed that entirely. They paid $10,000. Bitch only had 2 cheeseburgers. I would have had the whole cow if I paid $10,000.
You would have went viral, because Stormy would have told you. Stormy would have called you a peasant.
I will be a peasant, honey, moo moo. I will wrap my burgers up and put them in my purse and take them back to my tent.
I mean, like, there's a difference between being like, girl, you paid $10,000 and you're eating 2 cheeseburgers here. Like, I thought we're getting our mind, body, and soul. Like, have one. You know what I mean? Like, versus like, first of all, ghetto. What?
Yeah.
Hood rat.
We're supposed to call it government, because the government is more ghetto than the ghetto ever been these days.
I don't know. But so that went viral. Another video that went viral was NBA YoungBoy's mom.
Stop.
I mean, first, I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it, I was like, did Mama D get a facelift? Like, his mom has, she's slanging lip gloss, and I'm not gonna play the video, but here's the audio to it. It's her sitting at a table
good tonight
with a very young man.
Hair done, nails done, lip gloss popping.
She look good. She look.
You know I did all that for you, right?
Yeah.
She's putting her lip gloss on.
You want to taste my meat?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she want to taste that meat. And she's eating the meat off this 22-year-old. Oh, it says what the fuck.
If your lip gloss ain't got your man trying to put some meat in your mouth, you must not be using Slimafit.
I mean, this wasn't a real commercial. It was like an Instagram commercial, you know, but it's just, I mean, we used to have to watch Love and Hip Hop for this kind of stuff, you guys. And now we just have access to it 24/7. This is actually the news. This is what is being promoted across the Shade Room, the Neighborhood Talk, Hollywood Unlocked. Like, these are the things that we care about, apparently.
Well, I will say this. The production quality was great. They looked good. The you know, hey, if Kylie can sling lip kits, NBA YoungBoy's mom can sling what? But she calls it like slime something.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that because I don't want to be like slime on my lips. Like, that's not a.
I don't know, but that might be a young thing because now you see all these people on TikTok with literally someone created a filter with cum on your face. I'm just like, what?
I hate us. I know I've said that like 8 million times this week, but I hate us. Like, I can't.
I mean,
look, I find the good in the shit, and that's all I got.
That's amazing. Well, find the good in this because a lot of things happen on October 3rd, and we know from Mean Days that is a very important day, and that's when all things happen is on October 3rd. And usually it's a Tuesday. But this Tuesday, one of the things that happened, two things that happened with Kim Kardashian was she was being sued by who was it? Who was she being sued by? Not the FCC.
It was the FCC, right?
Oh yeah, she was being sued by the FCC.
No, that's the communications. It's the
whatever. She being sued by the people.
Exchange Commission.
There you go. And this ain't even really the story that I'm gonna talk about, but this happened on the same day. So she got sued because she basically posted about a new crypto in her stories. This wasn't even an Instagram post. And she posted this in her stories, but didn't reveal that she was paid for it. And you have to apparently.
Yes, you can't tell people to go buy a Bitcoin.
Well, no, she wrote ad on it. That's the thing. If you look at it, she physically wrote this is an ad. I just wonder, where do you have to disclose how much you make? Like, why? Where do you tell someone, like, everyone, I got paid $250,000 to do this?
I don't know. Either way, like, but also in that moment, no, I'm glad they came for her. That's illegal. It is what it is.
And she's a big part of why that even exists. So she knows better, period. But, like, you know, 'cause I would definitely argue that the Kardashians are a big part of the reason why Instagram started forcing influencers to say what is paid versus what is not. Because at this point, I mean, this is really what blew my mind. And I sent Courtney, I probably posted about 6 of the videos on my stories. We've gotten to the point where Kim Kardashian is so rich and in her own world of a bubble that she was sitting around one day at home and she was just like, I fucking like love my skincare, but like, you know, like, it's like when I'm using the toner, like, and all of like this tissue, like I have to go in the drawer and like take the tissue out and like, where do I throw it? Like, and then it's just like, then I need another tissue. So she then came up with the idea to create a Bed Bath and Beyond, I mean a bath line where she created a mini trash can, a tissue cover, a decorative tissue cover, a globe, and a tray. You know, the thing that really threw me was her talking about the tissues in a video where she was teaching people how to use a decorative tissue box as if these haven't existed since like the 50s. Like, I mean, my parents used to have those all the time. Whatever shower curtains they had the matching tissue box in the bathroom for it. I know you know what one I'm talking about, that maroon one with the green, and it was like, then you got the maroon bath tissue thing. And it's all made out of concrete. And if you get all 5 products, you can get them on discount for $355. So
I will never cape for Kim Kardashian. What I will say, because I'm about putting positive energy into the world, she's just diversifying her business model, and like we should celebrate that for her.
I can celebrate it, except the thing is this line that when she first marketed this line.
Pour it up.
I'm not peeing, y'all. I was just pouring it up. Pour it up. When she first did this line, the whole point of it was that it was supposed to be sustainable. And I'm seeing a lot of the PR packaging.
That's supposed to be sustainable?
Well, yeah. So she has the Skin by Kim.
Yeah.
And this falls under the Skim company. And so Skims, when they first launched, the whole thing was about sustainability. That's why everyone was making fun of her, like, for the packaging that it all came in. And now we're using concrete, which on TikTok, someone did a whole thing and found out that concrete's actually one of the worst things for the environment. And it's just, and it was funny because the girl was like, I wonder if this is like Kim's artistic, like, play on communism. I'm like,
I mean, it felt very Kanye to me. And either way, I mean, whatever. I don't care. I don't care about the Kardashians.
Okay, but here's my thing. I've come up with this. It's all a ploy. All of it. Kim, Kanye, what's the other girl's name? Candace. All of them. It's all a ploy. And what it really is, I think Kanye and Kim, and I thought about this because of Tamara Mowry. Because she's getting her husband, Corey, filed for divorce. Tia, her husband, filed for divorce.
She filed for divorce.
Really?
Tia filed.
Oh, so she filed. And she's releasing a book. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, now?
Tamara is releasing the book. Tamara's releasing the book. Tia is getting divorced.
Okay. Oh, I got that all mixed. Well, because I was like, not we getting a divorce to try and sell a book. Like, because it wouldn't put I don't put nothing past no one. And
100%.
Back to the Kim and Kanye thing, I think all this is really happening. Like, KHLOE came into the mix and was like going back and forth with Kanye, talking about she has screenshots and all this stuff. Like, I really think they're doing it so that we know who all of the kids are, and the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians will continue because we will care about what the kids go through. We want to hear North's story. North, at your birthday party that we all remember, did you think your dad...
You don't think they get tired? Like, I'm exhausted just from hearing about it and like pretending occasionally to care. Like, and they have to be in the midst of it all the time. Like, how are they not tired? You don't think they're tired?
I only think Rob Kardashian is tired, and I think Kourtney Kardashian is getting tired.
Kourtney is definitely tired. She's tired.
She is, because I heard an interview she just did with that girl that's obsessed with the Kardashians, and they're like the only people that she's like the only person that they let interview her. But the girl was like asking her about like, you and KHLOE used to be so close, and then like what happened? And she was like, I don't know, you know how she is. She kind of like draws her answer up, but basically what she said was, like, I just got my stuff together, and her and Kim's were more focused and the girl was like, oh, because they were pregnant at the same time. She was like, Kim had a surrogate. It was like the way she corrected her so quickly. I was just like, damn, like she didn't even let the girl finish. Like they were both pregnant. She was like, Kim had a surrogate. It was like, oh, well, damn. Basically implying like she couldn't have been experiencing the same thing that KHLOE was feeling. It was just wild. So I think Kourtney's done with it. I don't know. Like you said, I'm exhausted by it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating because of how many people, because I went and watched the D'Amelio one, right? Because I watched it when it first came out. I watched the first episode, turned it right off. And then I was like, all right, because you brought it up. I was like, let me rewatch. Let me get into it again. Now.
For the record, I was on Hulu watching something else and left the room and was doing stuff around the house, and suddenly these voices were on, and I was like, is that Kylie? Like, whose voice is that? Because it was like really monotone and boring and like awful. And I was like, who are these people? And that's when I discovered. And I was like, oh, they have a whole show about these people who I've heard about, but I still don't really know who they are. So, nonetheless.
Yeah, and it's just a no for me. Like, I think we're just at a point. The Kardashians won the lottery, you know?
They did. They were perfect timing in the perfect spot. And no shade to them. They were a fun family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though obviously years later we know that it was kind of contrived what was happening to put them on in terms of Ray J and all of that, their family itself in the beginning was entertaining. It was a whole bunch of kids, sisters fighting. Like, it was fun. They had cute clothes. So we thought, even though when we look back now, like, whoa, they had cute clothes. They had businesses. Like, they were fun women around LA. Like, and it was a life we had not seen into. So they just struck at a good time when things were new and fresh. And
I think we're just in this place where it's like so exhausting to even think to fall in love with another family. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm on TikTok enough. Like, I'm watching people like in their bedroom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and for moments where it's like, okay, well, now I need something else. I don't want a whole family to get. It's like,
and part of it was watching their rise. And now, because of TikTok and all of this, these people are already, quote unquote, the kind of famous that the Kardashians sort of are. The Kardashians are way beyond, but in terms of famous for, you know, just being themselves, like, that's already a thing if you're famous on TikTok. So, like, why do I need to see your show? I don't want to see your show. I only like you because of TikTok. Go back to TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of TikTok, so two big artists who, you know, got popular from TikTok, Lizzo and Doja, they were in a meme, kind of like one of those chart memes that I tell you guys about how much I hate. But it was like for the first time in history, 5 female rappers are in the top 10 or something like that. And it was like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, I forget who the third person was. And then the other 2 were Doja Cat and Lizzo. I can see Doja Cat because she literally does rap, but she sings and raps. But when was Lizzo ever considered a rapper? Did I miss something?
I wouldn't consider either of them rappers, but I definitely wouldn't consider Lizzo a rapper.
Right. And it brought me back to, like, I can't remember if it was a Billboard chart or it was one of those music charts. And I just remember Beyonce being filed under hip hop. And I was just like,
that makes no sense.
No. And it's like, also like, not really like, hello, wake the fuck up. Who made these charts? All that to say, to get back into, there's so many people that have an issue with Lizzo right now. And the whole thing that I'm seeing the most of is a lot of conservatives, actually. And their issue with Lizzo is that she promotes being fat. And it's very unhealthy. And I will say the commercial that she is in, it's like a Discover commercial, and it's very like gluttonous or whatever. And I'm just like, what if she just, because they're mad because she, in her speech that she won the Emmy, she came out and said, you know, I never saw girls like me on TV. And so people are really upset because they feel like we're really trying to make being fat okay here in America. And it's like, everything is an agenda. Like, yes, is Lizzo on stage in spandex and leotards, shaking her ass? Yes. But is that her? But
that's the other pop artist that's out. Like,
exactly.
You know,
but this is my problem with the whole thing. My problem with the whole thing is everybody isn't Beyonce. Everybody can't be Beyonce. I don't actually know who Lizzo is. I know what kind of music she makes. But like, I listened to this thing of India Ari the other day, and just listening to her talk, I was just like, you're so right. Like, why is it when now, if you're an artist, it's almost so boring to watch performances, because as soon as someone performs, oh, let me throw the old Spanx in the silver or the, you know, sparkling blue leotard with my V-strap and my tits out, and it's like, doesn't matter what size you are. Lizzo's gonna wear it, Lady Gaga's gonna wear it, Lotto's gonna wear it, Bia's gonna wear it, Nicki Minaj is gonna wear it. You have to wear it. This is the uniform. Assemble up. Marvel, superhero. Like, what happened to like wearing swag? Like, what girl goes on stage with, like, think about Aaliyah, like with her mid-cut shirt, with her low jeans and her boxers, and she was on stage doing choreography, like, and it created a whole mood. Like, why does everyone have to go to that like Power Ranger suit, like half naked Power Ranger suit? Like, so like maybe Lizzo is on stage because subliminally she's like, I don't even want to be up here shaking my ass in a fucking 2-piece thong, but I have to because this is what the record label's saying. So yeah, I have to tell people that I love myself because I have to love myself to do this. You know what I mean? Like, why does everybody? Because Beyonce is the standard. Like, she isn't the standard. She's just the bar. So that means we all have to like dress like Beyonce, no matter what kind of music you do.
Well, I think that yes, on one hand, that's true, and I think that's not different than it has been in the past. It just was different that like clothes were a thing. But it's kind of like,
gonna be shocked if artists start wearing clothes for performance.
Well, that's the thing. I was just like, my next comment is literally like, I'm just looking forward to the time when clothes come back in style. And I mean that on the like artist performance level, but also like on the human, like, let's go out level. Like, I'm so tired of seeing women in their underwear, like at the dinner party, like, because that's just a thing. Like, it's, I mean, and it is no shade whatsoever. Women's bodies are beautiful. You can wear whatever you want. Clearly you do these days. Like, it's just like, I'm bored. Like, we had the sheer dresses and like all the like reveal mesh. It's like, okay, cool. Like, can we come back to some fabric and like tailoring and like something different, just because it's been like, let's be naked for a long time. And don't get me wrong, I love being naked. I'm not often naked in the street because I just don't roll like that. But like, if you can and you do, great for you. But like, I'm just interested in some new lines. Like, let's do some new shapes and, you know, some pants or something. But we are of a culture, and culture normally has like, you know, somebody won at that level. And so people want to emulate that to continue winning until somebody different is strong enough to be different and says, I'm going to be different, and bust through that barrier. But so basically Beyonce gonna have to wear clothes again before people start wearing clothes again.
Okay, but like, I see that too. But then like, you think of like, I don't know, I just go back to the 90s and you just, you know, because what you said is so true. Like, the 90s were so unique, and 2000s were so unique because, you know, it was like Beyonce's mom making the clothes. Like, if you really go back and look at the clothes on a lot of artists, like, they were a mess. But it was fun, and it was unique, and it was creative to whatever that person was doing. And then that showed the evolution, because then Beyonce deserved to be in the leotard with the gold and the cape flying at because we've seen her do, you know, the army soldiers and everything, the performances of it all.
But some would still argue, like, yes, it was cute and it was fun. Obviously, Destiny Child had its specific thing because of Tina Knowles, all of that. But the trend at the time was everybody, female-wise, bear as much midriff as possible, just barely showing your pubic bone. So like low-rise jeans and whatever version of that came across the board. Like, even Destiny's Child, though their outfits were made, all of their pants and their skirts were slung low on their hips and their midriffs were out, and it's a bra top. Britney Spears did the same thing. Christina Aguilera was doing the same. Like, it is whatever it is, and right now it's the leotard, and it is what it is. But I would like to go, like, let's go.
I want like TLC Aaliyah swag bag. Like, I know we're never getting that back, but
we'll get some version. I'm like, can we
the K-pop artists are gonna start dressing like that. That's the people who are gonna have that style.
We're gonna have 80s Janet Jackson with all the jackets and shoulder pads and like belt loops and stuff. I feel like, and cut out a little bit. We're gonna like do some more cutouts and like do that again.
All right. Well, BET Hip Hop Awards. I actually was not interested at all personally.
Me either, except for that girl that had that wig on.
Who?
Oh God, what is her name? She wore a white dress with basically it was a white see-through dress with panties and a bra, and she had this like orangey curly afro wig. Oh my God, I can't think of the artist. She was everywhere. I'll find her. Continue.
Well, so the BT Awards happened. The reason that I wanted to check it out was shout out to Trina. She won their big award of the night, which I think Missy Elliott and Lil' Kim have won in the past. Trina, very well deserving. You know what I mean? Give her flowers while she's still alive. They had Remy Ma up there giving it to her. Why does music feel empty? Putting Trina aside, because that was literally the only good thing from the night. You know, these ciphers. I mean, this year. I also got a thing like, what is BT so like? If again with the Nicki Minaj thing, there's a clear agenda against Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has released 5, maybe 6 songs this year and wasn't nominated for one BET award.
Maybe she missed the cutoff.
No, girl, she's released them throughout the year. Like if the Kim, because she released one around the same time that Kanye and Cardi did the hot shit, and that was still there. Now, don't get it twisted. Lotto definitely deserving of song of the female hip hop song of the year, or whatever that was. With Big Energy, I'll give that. But like to not have Nicki Minaj nominated is just it's wild to me, and it just further proves. Because I mean, if you go back a couple years and remember when I forget who Nicki and Cardi maybe were going back and forth on Twitter, and BT posted like Nicki Minaj is getting dragged by her weave, and then they deleted that tweet. So something's going on with BET, but.
Or maybe something that we are not aware of, that Nicki was sideways with BET, and that's why they not cool no more. And they just took these opportunities to shade her even further, which I'm not okaying. But Nicki is not a victim in a lot of these unfortunate circumstances she finds herself in.
I mean, I don't know what she is, to be quite honest, because we don't know all the facts. We don't know what it is. We don't know really what happens behind the scenes. What I do know is for years, Nicki Minaj was never a problem. Nicki Minaj created music that people loved, but also the industry never gave her flowers for all of those years. So,
well, she was a woman doing man's work, quote unquote.
And Azalea Banks, years ago when Cardi B came out to say that Cardi B's trash and the industry basically found her off Love and Hip Hop and created something to try and take Nicki Minaj down, and now Azalea Banks is flip-flopping on that, but whatever. But all that to say, so these BET Awards, they have these ciphers, and I mean, it was probably one of the most painful things to get through, each one of them, to be quite honest.
Am I remembering, is this like a normal thing that they do with like random people that I just don't remember in the past right now?
Yeah, but they were good. Like it would be like, I was like, you know, again, Nicki Minaj. Like the only one I remember people making fun of with Iggy Azalea, but like Nicki Minaj was in one with Joe Budden. Eminem's done it.
Okay, so they were using actual rappers in the past.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, Courtney. Yes, they were using like real.
That answered my question, because I'm like, is this like a new thing that they're using like people that are not necessarily?
But like even in this, like I know who Ken the Man is, and I actually like her music. But then seeing her do this, I was like, are you excited to be there? Like, do you want to be there? Like, this just feels like they literally were like in a room on the stream, like, hey, does anyone know how to freestyle? And they just took whoever was like down, and then the celebrity cipher one with like Kirk Franklin, like what, or Tammy Roman.
I feel like Kirk pulled off the better lyrics of
1,000,000%. He was probably the best out of all of them, to be honest with you.
saying a whole lot, but still, he pulled his lyrics together.
Like they had Meek Mill's Baby Mama. Like I'm just like,
it was very random and often disturbing. And if I were Missy, I would be shooting up the place. Like, what are you doing with my music?
1,000,000%. I don't know if you guys watched it. Leave a comment down below if you liked somebody, because I'm not gonna lie, I did actually go through. I was gonna review it, and then I was like, I'm not even giving this all that.
Well, can I say one thing? Rashida was not great to me.
No, she wasn't. Actually, I actually didn't delete it. These are the people that I thought were pretty good, and honestly, I didn't know most of them. Ken the Man, I expected more based off her music. Young Puda, he was good, but I'd be interested to hear if that's his only flow. Novell Heiss was the only one who gave, for me, potential star quality. And then that girl Armani, she didn't move me. I wanted her to move me because she was cute, but she did not. Sauce Walker, actually marketable, with the right team, and I feel like they could do something with him in fashion and music. I love Baby Tate. I just feel like Baby Tate needs someone in her team that she can trust to help organize her creative process, which is what I think the same in Doechii, which Doechii should...
notes.
You said what? I did. I really did my A&R notes. Rayvon, he's great if he doesn't get stuck in one genre. And then I like that guy Topaz Jones. I like him because his flow was good. It came across authentic, and he comes across relatable, but has like a little spark of a star quality. And those were in like the like nobody freestyles. Yes. As far as the like people who are of the entertainment industry, shame on everyone. Shame on BET to put that together. That's insane.
And the editing, like with DJ Envy, and like pretending like he was like,
oh
it was
my god, it was like someone's uncle, like get him off stage, like
it was so fake. I didn't like it. It felt very inauthentic, very inauthentic. But it takes a lot to get up and spit. What is it? 8 bars, 16, whatever they did.
Girl, some of them felt way too long. I was like, is it how many bars you going? Like, what?
Like, what are you doing? But either way, that is an act of courage, especially when it's not your lane normally. So, yay them for experimenting in their creativity. Look at that. Positive spin. Ow.
Come on, experimenting. All right, well, let's see how positive you are in the world of Housewives, bitch. All right, so... I couldn't tell you how relieved I was that Atlanta wasn't on this week. But I did feel a little lost because I like having my shows. And yes. This is the problem. It's like every few months you go through this because the show ends and you got to like rekindle the things around so you have your set amount of shows. You know what days you watch and what da-da-da.
Just a week. Potomac's back.
Exactly. So let's get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Very disappointed by this episode overall. Very disappointed. I was. I think it's a good setup episode, but like you have to remember, like we come from the days of really good reality TV. So like the first, second, third episode, like we're getting hooked.
Yes.
And then there's gonna be something big at the end of the season. Now it's like they know we're already tied into this, so they'll give us a great first episode, mediocre second, third episode will be great. They might take a week off for the fourth episode. Like, it's just like, what? So I think we got good storylines here, and I'm hoping this was the burning of the Kindlewood to really get us where we need to be, because, I mean, we're going to get into Beverly Hills, but, like, Beverly Hills, I'm so excited for the reunion, like, as if, like, equally to, like, Rihanna's halftime performance at the Super Bowl. Like,
I hope it doesn't disappoint the way we waited all season for, like, the craziest to go down and to find out it wasn't so bad.
Which is
Probably.
probably what will happen, because that's what happens with every season and everything. And I always build it up, and then I'm just like, whatever, I shouldn't.
But I don't know, for them to like not want to be together and take a picture at the end, like what happened that was so awful? Like, so it has to be something, right? Like they have to give us something.
Well, I think we'll get into Beverly Hills after, though. Let's get into Salt Lake. So we see Jen and her mom talking about the mock trial, and her son is just Omar's so worried about her.
This is painful to watch.
With the son or the mom?
Everything about Jen is painful to watch, knowing what we know happened.
It's painful to
this whole like, oh, I'm so innocent, my son's crying and he doesn't know if he's gonna see his mom, and it's like, girl, you really are a big old liar.
Like, you went on national television knowing you're doing a Ponzi scheme, and it's like I don't even know what word to pull for this, like, because I don't want to say audacity, because it's like
it is audacity.
What's a bigger thing than that? Because like
I don't ever know.
The fact that you went on national television knowing that you did this, and then continue to stay on the show and continue to lie.
Your innocence, like, and continue to proclaim your innocence over and over and over and over. It's mind blowing. Like, and it's like, is that a personality disorder? Like, has she dissociated? Like, what's happening? Like, how is that possible?
I mean, look, I just have come to the terms with, I mean, I loved her first season. I thought she was crazy, and I loved the crazy.
Insane, but she worked great for.
But it's too much now. Honestly, like, now I'm like looking at her husband, like, is he just a family man and that's why he's still in this? Is he crazy? Like, is he an empath and he just like, because he does baby her like on a crazy level. I'm like, then what about the poor kids? Like, I'm sure she takes care of them and is a loving woman, but like, there's toxic traits there. Like, I don't want my mom like beating bitches' asses, pulling up, and like, girl, calm down. And like, you're guilty.
And you are so guilty. Like, so guilty. I just don't know what to do. And it's really uncomfortable too, because like, she was talking to her mom, and she clearly took her mom's like something like $2 million from her mom's retirement or something to help pay for attorneys.
Knowing she's guilty.
And I'm just like, how? Like, I don't understand that human experience, and I feel very far away from being able to understand it and understand it as displayed on television. Like, how did you not bow out of the show and just be like, I can't do this because I know what's
Mary did it. Mary was like, oh, peace out, y'all in my church business now. Like, I'm out. And you should have the moment someone caught wind of this.
And some would say, like, you need the check because obviously you're about to go to jail and your kids will need money. But like, this kind of crime, you're going to probably be paying restitution and all kind of stuff. So your kids ain't going to get that money anyway. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I just can't imagine being a mother, being a wife, and thinking it's okay to continue this lie on television.
Look, she gives me a little tapped, but God bless her. God bless the family. Hopefully, they can get through that, because that is real shit. That's not just like, the rest of the stuff we're going to go through is all like, girl. But this is like some real shit, and I feel bad for the kids because children
100%.
are involved.
Utah.
Yeah.
As if they weren't like the other enough. Like, now mom's going to jail, you're even more the other. Like, that's rough.
Call Coach Stormy. Whitney and Meredith talking about Lisa's rumors having this was so messy. I'm just like, the fact that y'all are really here, because this was a group text. So every Housewives show has a cast group text, and then obviously they have their own separate ones.
They like,
that this was spoken about. Like, Meredith, I feel like Meredith was like, look, you guys, we're going to have these conversations. I believe her, Jen, and Whitney had those conversations off camera and brought this. They looked so contrived having the conversations, talking about, well, I don't want to, I know what it's like to have rumors put out. I don't want to say anything, but
I
I heard that Lisa was having sex with men because she's trying to slang her tequila. I don't think she was doing that. Like, I don't think she was doing that. I think you're mad because she said something stupid, which was stupid. And now you're saying something stupid.
Oh, it's interesting. I'm like, oh, interesting. You don't think she did it at all. Okay.
No, I don't see Lisa as somebody that could follow through in cheating. I can see Lisa flirting, like, but it's like in a gross, weird, like, she reminds me of one of my aunts, like, but like,
Like,
not through blood, just through marriage. But so I don't see Lisa being an actual cheater. I just think that she's someone that runs her mouth and gets caught up in stuff. And like I said, I just think she said something stupid. Meredith's pissed because, I mean, that's a big thing to say. Like, you were running around sleeping with all of New York. And it, like, whatever, if it's like a troll saying it, like, okay, yeah, I was out there, go ahead, find him. But like, for my best friend, and I put that in quotations because I don't really know what these women's lives were before the show. But
they
like,
claimed they were friends for 10 years.
Right.
So they claim to have been real friends before the show.
So you run in it, like, and again, because last episode you wanted this sympathy so bad, you ran into a room and the first thing you wanted to say was how broke we're fake, and that I fucked half of New York. Like, that was, I got you that mad? Like, that you were just like, what's a lie? You slept with half of New York. What's a lie? Oh, you're broke. Like, you were just like, yeah, that was the first thing as soon as I went into the room and thought, like, sounds like you were thinking about that.
You've definitely been thinking about it. Some of it is probably true. Some of it is probably her speculating when she's not around her bestie, like with her husband, like, oh my God, they must not have any money. Like, they can't buy a house. Like, stuff that you say to somebody else about who's supposed to be your best friend. So, but going back to Whitney and Meredith together, yes, it was 100% so contrived and uncomfortable. And Meredith at the end being like, I mean, yes, I heard that, but it's just so absurd. It's just so absurd. I just wouldn't. It's so absurd. Bitch, bye!
You know, the last thing I would want to ever do is talk about Lisa behind her back. The last thing. Like, what? Her Drew Barrymore, I just can't. So then we get to the scene with Lisa and her son. And I actually like this scene because I think this was such a genuine moment. And the son is probably going to be horrified at a later day in his life. But go Lisa for not hiding. Like, she did it in a very nice way. I'll give her that. But what she did was basically like, he doesn't want to go to college, which again, I also now am in this place where it's like, I totally like question about going straight into college from high school now. Like, growing up, I used to think it was like the thing to do. Now it's like, I can understand someone wanting to take time, figure out what they actually want to do and do it, as long as you do it. You know, that the problem they say is when you take that break, you don't ever go back.
No.
But so he wants to take a break. And she's trying to figure out why he wants to take this break. And he's like, I own a company. And like, da-da-da. I mean, like, we can talk about white privilege, but just talk about privilege.
Yeah.
Like,
and go for checking the heck out of him. She checked him very well.
Yep. She was like, honey, that's when you can do that, when it's not my money being invested or my
money, my connections. Like, that's why you have a company. You didn't make these connections. You didn't do this yourself like you are thinking right now. So, but yeah.
I think this is the future of America, unfortunately. And, you know, as positives and negatives. The positive is she's a loving mother and she wanted to give her son everything. The negative is when you coddle your child like that too much, they feel like they know, and then they don't do. And so I actually enjoyed that moment.
Definitely. And I will always be a proponent for college. I just think we need to evolve into education for education's sake, not education because it's going to give me a paycheck.
1,000,000%. So Whitney, well, I mean, at the time I didn't know what the scene was going to be, so I was like, Whitney's dramatically crying.
She's.
All right.
It was very dramatic. But
it was dramatic. So come to find out, which makes me feel like it was real because I know that cry. That there was that cry of just like, I've had trauma cry before, and that was trauma cry. It's like you regress into your child self. Whitney spoke to her half brother Will, who was doing EDMR, which is a memory recall, and basically he told her some stuff that happened to her, where she used to get these triggering things of something that happened to her in the bathroom, and we don't know what, but I'm assuming somebody was either molesting her or raping her in the family. Horrifying. And a brave thing to talk about that publicly, because that is, again, traumatic, and especially if you've never been in therapy for that, to talk about that in public and not really understand the emotions that are going to come with that, because there will be emotions. Anytime you suppress anything, you're going to go for a ride. Like, I suppressed something for a very long time in my life, and thinking like, I got it, and you just, I didn't. I didn't. It affected me in every way, because you're carrying extra weight. As soon as I let go of it, as soon as I started talking about it, it didn't bother me anymore. It couldn't hurt me anymore. So hopefully she gets to, now that she's discovered this and unlocked that, she can have that. Well,
what's crazy is that she discovered it exists, but she has not fully discovered her own memories of it. So like, there's still a block in her. Like, that's wild. Like, that you can, the brain is an amazing organ and space, because the way that you can literally put a good 10 years of your life out of your mind,
and especially never those 10 years. Like, for me, I always say, like, I can't really remember my childhood like before like 6. Like, people would be like, oh, when I was 3 years old. I'm like, really? Like,
my first memories are 4. Okay. I think the age is 3 or 4 that you have.
Like, I mean, like, I remember like things. Like, I remember being on my great grandmother's lap eating a chocolate Easter bunny, and I was probably 3 or 4. I don't remember it, but I remember it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like 6 and up, I could tell you dates, times, places, who I was acting like, who I was dating in my mind.
In your mind. I wonder how, like, current technology, because we photograph so much and kids are using cameras at such an early age, like, because there are things that you remember. Like, we obviously did not have cameras in our pockets growing up until we were a bit older, teenagers and further. But like, how like some things like are actual memories, but some things you kind of think are memories because you've seen a photo of them.
Yeah. So like, the funny you say that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, so we've chronicled, kids now have so much chronicled of their lives. Like, I wonder how that affects their actual memories, because you have the camera version of it that's in your hand for years at a time, that you've probably seen and captured in different ways. And like, what does that do to what your actual, because your memory is its own perception of what actually happened. Mm-hmm. A photograph isn't necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I've gone back and watched videos that my parents were like crazy with the video cameras. I was the firstborn, so like everything. And it's when I watch them, I don't remember. I remember how everyone looked at that time. Like, I remember my aunts and uncles, they all had like the short hair, all my aunts had like the short curly hair back then. And then I remember the smell. Like, I can remember pieces from it when I watched that, but I don't remember the day at all. I don't ever remember the day. And it's funny you're saying that, because I just saw this. It was a discussion. They were talking about how a lot of these kids, are they going to be traumatized growing up because their parents have them on in social media? And so now it's like, Mom, like, why would you record every time I was crying or every time I was screaming? And now you're that kid that cries or pees his pants all the time. Like, you had no say in that. So that is interesting to me, because then does the kid block that out? And how does that affect their life? Like, that's very interesting. So the girls go on this trip to Arizona, and the house was like...
When they said it looked like Mary's house, I almost fell on the floor.
Literally, like Mary, Britney Spears, Elton John, and Paris Hilton all live in the same types of houses. Because I thought Britney was going to come out and be like, hey, y'all, I'm the new housewife of Salt Lake City.
And
like,
then do a spin.
half naked, like twirling around, like glitter. So they get there. Whitney and Lisa discuss her childhood. Lisa turns the conversation, of course, back into her and her one mistake. It was only one mistake. Girl, it was a big mistake.
It was a huge mistake.
That was a crazy mistake.
It was huge.
Meredith came. She didn't want to say hi. Whitney tells Heather the rumors that Meredith told her about Lisa. And says, you know, I kind of want to give Lisa a heads up. And Heather was like, I don't know if this is the trip for that. Obviously, you're going to, because that's what the show's about. But maybe we should wait till we have a party, and then we could do that. So then they have this healing session, and, you know, whatever works for whoever. Meredith apologizes for being late, and she feels triggered and not safe, expressing herself here. And Lisa, of course, has to make it about her, and she's like, well, I used to be that safe place for you. You're not.
Clearly.
And Lisa cried and got up and left because she said that, girl.
Girl, you literally told all my business that I supposedly secretly told you to the whole world. You are not a safe space, sis. I will never speak to you again if I were Meredith.
No.
I just wouldn't. You're not trustworthy. I cannot trust you, period.
Because you just gonna come out your mouth and say something like that. Like, even if... I mean, there's no even if. It was just too crazy. It was just wild. It was just like, girl, what?
You came for me. You came for my husband. You came for my whole family in that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We are not cool. No.
Again, I wrote, why would you come on a reality TV show knowing you're scamming people and acting like you have no idea? That was clearly about Jen.
That was Jen talking about, I want to release my fear for going to trial because I was innocent. Bitch, you lie. The lies.
The lies. We see, and then Whitney talks about her childhood being blocked 9 to 7. You know, here's the thing. I liked that she talks about this stuff again because I think it's relatable. I think that I feel like, because we know her and Heather are going to fall out. And why I like that people discuss this type of stuff, because I think that people who go on these shows probably have a lot of similar stuff like this to share. It doesn't have to be about molesting or whatever, but some sort of traumatic something. I like it because not that it excuses any of her actions, but it kind of makes me understand the past 3 seasons with her and her relationships a little more. And now it'll be interesting to see how she navigates these friendships, or how she won't navigate them, now that she's learned a little piece of her. Yeah. You know, Courtney will tell you, this is my biggest problem. It's like, I'll just find out whatever someone's biggest fuck up in their life is, and I'll be like, no, we're going to love them through that. And, they're going to be healed, and, everyone get the potential, and they're going to be great.
Baby. It's okay, baby.
We just want to pray for everyone. So we're going to pray for this show.
You can pray for everybody and not be with them.
Right, well, honey, and that's why we over here, single for my life. And so yeah, that was really it for Salt Lake. Next week looks like finally the juice is going to be getting, because now we're going to see
We're going.
Whitney and Heather, and Whitney looks like she's snapping. You know, I saw this interesting thing where someone said that they feel like Heather, when they saw the preview for this, they felt like Heather was going to be in the wrong, and that they felt like they thought the reason Heather and Whitney were going to get into it is because now that Heather has a little bit of fame, because we know Rihanna loves Heather, that maybe Heather's feeling herself a little bit. I feel like Heather's always felt herself from the first episode. So I don't think it's that. I think, and this is the thing with Heather, in real life, I would be friends with Heather. She annoys me, but she seems like that kind of friend where she's like, I know I annoy you, Jesse, but I just love you. And it would be like, girl, okay, fine. And she'd be like, just come in and get Botox. I'm like, girl, no. Like, I just feel like we'd be cool. But I also feel like she's genuine. I do feel like out of all of the girls, she comes across genuine, the tattletale of like, well, you were mean about this or whatever the case is. Like, so
I agree.
And Whitney, I had, like what I just said, knowing this now doesn't excuse her actions, but it makes me understand her a little better, because I've always kind of looked at Whitney like, I don't know where to place Whitney. I don't know if I like her or not, because it's like she'll do one thing, then she'll flip, and she's almost like the Kyle of the group, but it's like the unlikable Kyle, because I like Kyle. So
well, Kyle has moments of unlikability that she comes back from somehow. But I will say that I agree with you about Heather. And I actually, when I saw the preview for next week, I was like, oh, it's about to be one of those situations where, because Whitney is coming through her stuff, she gonna be trying to act brand new. It's not, I don't feel like it's not Heather. It's like, which she can be, because, you know, she's working through whatever is in her life. That
right, but you can't act brand new.
But you can't act brand new.
Like, you can't say like, holy shit, I can't, you can say, I can't believe I did that. Because trust me, once again, 2017, the story I will tell. I can't believe.
Yes.
But I did stuff. I did what I did. I put myself in situations. I did that.
And you can't suddenly act brand new and then try to accuse somebody else of things that you yourself were probably guilty of. And that's what it's looking like it's shaping up to me based on what we saw. But I don't know. I just want to know who gives Heather that black eye eventually. But anyway.
I mean, honestly, it could be a bad like Botox.
She probably like fell down the ski slope or something.
Right.
And,
like my grandmother fell this past week and she got a
They tried to make it seem like one of the chicks went wild and like, you know, Lisa punched her in the face.
It's the only person I can see hitting someone is Jen hitting someone. I don't see Jen hitting Heather.
Well, Jen might hit Heather because Jen was all up on Heather multiple times in the past.
Yeah, but Jen ain't trying to go to jail. Like, I mean, she already going to jail, but like,
she's about to go to jail.
She about to go to jail. All right, let's get into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because this episode was great. It was fantastic.
I enjoyed.
This is how I want my seasons to end. Seasoned. Like a seasoned salmon on the grill, on plank, just waiting for me.
Delicious.
Roja, pick it up. And Potomac, please deliver. Because I don't know why in my mind I'm kind of skeptical about Potomac, but I'm going to hold up.
I feel like we're moving into, because like Roja has some epic seasons, like right around their, 7th and 8th season?
Yep.
As well, and Potomac is in that territory of space.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're on like their 7th season, I think, or 6th season, somewhere around there. I feel like we are not going to get disappointed by Potomac just yet.
All right, I love that.
They're still fresh.
All right, but Beverly Hills is ending, so we're not going to have this juice to carry us through. So hopefully.
No. Salt Lake is going to step it up, and then we'll have Potomac.
All right, so on Beverly Housewives. So we had Garcelle. She was setting up a Birkins and Bubble party.
Birkins and Bubbles.
We get to the party, and I didn't love Garcelle's. I loved Garcelle's outfit because it was just the most different from all the girls. I hated the bottom of it, but I liked the top. Like, I liked how it fit on her breast. I liked the arm, but like, it should have been like a dress, not a jumpsuit. It was just.
I wasn't into it.
I normally love everything she wears, and that was not.
Except for that. Well, we'll talk about that later. The reunion looks.
So whatever, but that was not it. So I thought it was funny that Garcelle has this party. She's using some of Kathy's butlers or wait staff.
I love it.
And I thought it was hilarious that Kathy's butler, the main guy, when Lisa came in, he said, the lioness.
I loved it because I love seeing more of his personality because I can only imagine the things that he has seen.
Oh my God.
And I love that we got like a little peek of his energy for real, for real. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, Lisa was doing the most, but whatever.
Throughout the whole episode. Garcelle ended up getting the yellow Birkin bag, which we've seen her.
$13,000, honey.
I mean, hey, do y'all. Kyle feels awkward with Lisa being there, and she just hopes that because the day before, which we saw last week, Kathy apologized to Kyle and Lisa. She's like, hopefully we can just call this, water under the bridge and just keep it on moving. Hopefully, which we know we're not because there's 2 parties in this episode, so we know damn well maybe you might be able to get away with it the first party, but the second party, surely not going to happen.
Let's go up.
So Kyle feels awkward and tells Garcelle about Lisa and Kathy's conversation. Now, I have no sympathy for anybody at this point. Like, I have no sympathy for Kyle because this entire episode, of course, Lisa and Erica are going to talk about it in the privacy of themselves. But this entire episode, the only people that brought it up at events, actually the only person that brought it up at events was Kyle. You didn't have to go run into Garcelle and telling her that. Because then at the Birkin party, as soon as she tells Garcelle that, then all the girls sit down as Garcelle and Sutton, they buy their Birkins. And Garcelle brings it up to Lisa in front of the group. And Lisa said, I was just so shook. I was just shook because of the behavior.
Shout out to the editors.
I was shook.
Editors gave us every time she said, I was shook. I was shook. I was shook. Ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous.
Again. I mean, let's just think about what would make you shook, right? Like if Kathy Hilton proved to conspiracy TikTok and ripped her head off and she was a reptilian, I'd be shook. I would hide myself in a room, like Lisa said. I would lock myself in the room and be traumatized because I saw a woman rip her head off and she was an alien.
Yeah, 100%.
If Kathy Hilton took you back to the house and Jeffrey Dahmered you,
yes, charged me and tried to eat me,
I'd be shook.
I'd be real shook.
Locked in the room calling 911 because you have a cell phone,
trying not to bleed out.
So, again, now apparently at the reunion we're gonna hear what was said. So maybe we'll find out. Maybe she was Kathy.
You're saying what she said is going to be actually revealed at the reunion?
Well, from the clip that I saw, I think I sent it to you. It was the trailer.
I think you sent it to me, and I didn't get to watch it before we got on.
Yeah, because it was like 6 slides. Andy starts saying, I think he says 3 things that she said, and then they cut it off. So it looks like they will confront her about what was said. And we'll see how everyone reacts to that. And then we have the second party in this episode. And this was a Princess Grace Kelly party foundation. I don't know. whatever, they make jewelry, and you can it's for rich people to buy the jewelry, and 100% of the proceeds go to this charity.
Goes to the foundation.
Go ahead. But we all know that, I'm sure it is a real charity, but I'm sure nobody from the actual charity really was pushing this, because this was a setup for this season finale fight, and they knew it was going to be a big one because nobody was at that party. And
Yeah,
at
nobody there.
that dinner was, again, so contrived. Why would you sit Garcelle and Kyle across from Lisa and Erica? And as they're sitting there, well, also I did think it was funny that Diana didn't want to wear any of the jewelry. She's like, I don't wear borrowed jewelry.
And she literally did like her rings in the confessional, like, hello. You
And
see
it's
the
funny
cute-
because honestly,
Sounds
like,
scary.
what did you think about Kyle's necklace?
I don't remember which one she wore.
She wore the one, it was like,
Was it a collar?
it kind
Or
of,
was-
it had
Okay, it was like a raindrop or like,
yeah, it was
tears.
given like Wakanda chest plate.
yeah. I mean, look,
But
I am
so,
not
like, it looks
opposed-
fake to me.
well, most, like, if it's like enormous amounts of diamonds, it will definitely look fake sometimes.
All right.
'Cause
But
it's
even
just
the one
so-
Crystal had on just kind of looked like,
I mean, none of it made me go, ooh, I want that. But
You
I'm
know-
not a big diamond person. I like gemstones. So I'm like more into big emeralds or something like that.
Also,
But-
side note, speaking of diamonds, I'm really kind of annoyed, and I tweeted this, that Beyonce, the first visuals we're getting are for a Tiffany Diamond ad. Like,
I agree.
I just
But,
feel like it takes
you
away from the
know,
artistry.
It might be the deal. It might be the deal. It is what it is. Business and commerce, or business and creativity. But nonetheless, what I will say too, before we jump further, is that the Diana, did I make that up? That's her name, right?
Yep. Or Crystal.
No, Diana. This is the Diana that I wanted to have all season. Like when she cracks up laughing about Lisa in her confessional, when she's talking about, honey, count the carrots. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the Diana we were going to get all season, and I wanted to enjoy her that way. And it's unfortunate that she was not, because I feel like she had it in her and she ruined it for us.
Yeah, I feel like I wanted her to be like Carolyn Stansbury from Dubai. Like, give
Yeah,
more that energy.
more of that, but a little bit,
But more glam, like,
but
old
like way more like
class.
Euro riche, like, but funny. Like, because she's initially, when we first met her, she seemed to be very self-aware, because she was saying like, yes, it's gaudy, it's too much, like, I don't care, like, I love it. And I wanted that, but not to where it went. It just went somewhere else that I
Yeah.
wasn't enjoying. But anyway, her little man looks like a child.
I can't. Look,
And
I
it's
wore my shoes to match. I wore my shoes to match my
So
shawarma.
uncomfortable, because he looks like such a little child, and I know he's a man, so it's legal, but it don't feel right.
Hey, get it, girl. All right, so they're all sitting down to dinner, and again, Garcelle and Kyle are sitting next to each other, and they're sitting across from Erica and Lisa. And Kyle, again, no sympathy. Kyle brings up to Garcelle. Now, let's think about the season, because you hang out with Garcelle. I just watched the 20-something episodes. You know, if you say what you're about to say to Garcelle, y'all are all having a conversation about it tonight.
That's why she did it. Duh.
Then don't act surprised.
Well, she has to play her role still,
No, I know.
while also producing a little.
I know. So Erica overhears it. Lisa overhears it. And, of course, then that turns into Garcelle prompting the question. Although they all conveniently got up and went over to the heater space. It was just like,
it's cold. Let's all go to the heater.
no, that was like, this is way too expensive of a party, and everyone's going to take their ass up from here, and we're not having Lisa throw a fucking glass, and we're all going to go over by the heaters. Okay? Thank you. So they're over there, and Garcelle brings it up, and Lisa says, I will die and get cancer if I hold this in. If I hold this in, I will die. Girl, that's real dramatic. Again, unless Kathy had physically pulled a gun out of her vagina and put it to your head.
Not her vagina.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of something that would be like if she pulled it out of her purse, I'd be shocked. But I mean, I'm just trying to think of what would traumatize me.
She would have to hold the gun to your head and be like, "Bitch, I hate you. You ain't this. You are trash." I would laugh
if Kathy Hilton ever spoke like that with a gun. That's what I'm saying. I would laugh, but traumatized if she pulled it out of her body and I'm just saying, you would die.
She's full of shit. She's so full of shit. And just for the record, right before that, when she came at Garcelle hella hardcore, you sound like you have an attitude. And I was just like, bitch, she just asked you a question. The only person with an attitude right now is you with that extra 3-ton ponytail on the top of your head. Fuck off. So again, I shout out to Garcelle for keeping it chill and still coming back strong. But I would have wanted to tip Lisa's chair over and throw her wig in the pool.
And it's just, Lisa gets into this whole, it's not easy. And I believe it's not easy because, again, you are Kyle's friend. So I do understand that you also do want the respect. I haven't said anything. I'm protecting my friend. But you're insinuating.
And when you insinuate and not actually say what it was,
it makes it worse.
Assume the worst of the worst of the worst. It's clearly she must have been throwing all kind of N-words and calling racist, homophobic stuff. She must have been awful. But you aren't saying what she said.
So yes, I can understand how it's hard for you.
Do you?
Well, yeah, in a sense of if I'm your friend, right? If I went with you back home and I'm in the kitchen with your sister and she has a freak out meltdown, you know what I mean? I wouldn't go running around telling people, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, well, damn, I can't believe I experienced that. Courtney, girl, your sister, you know what I'm saying?
I would say, Courtney, girl, your sister was wild, and be done.
1,000,000%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And if me and my sister coming at each other, you would step out.
1,000,000%. But also then it would make me feel a little awkward now with your sister.
For sure.
Right? So that's what I'm saying with what I can understand with Lisa. Because I can also imagine, knowing Kyle, that what Kyle has expressed to Lisa also.
Yes, that is true. Kyle is definitely guilty, probably, of throwing both her sisters under the bus to all of the women.
Which is why I also think Kyle wants to nix this, because it's I don't need everything coming out. So sure, that's about as far as my leash goes for Lisa Rinna. And Erica, it's girl, I've actually not cheerleaded for you, but I've empathized with you throughout the whole season.
Wow, we tried so hard.
And here's where I have to put the foot down, because
put it down.
I'm not even mad that you're trying to get your earrings back, because I understand how type of fucked up you are. But why this bothers me is because now you're playing it no one could take the smoke out of me. Girl, what? But you tried it. And maybe you didn't technically write the email, but you definitely told your PR person, because who else was there? You were there, so you told whoever, and that person went and told whoever. Because that would be a great PR move for no one to talk about you anymore. I mean, it really wouldn't, but that's the part that blows me.
Well, no one can talk about your negative stuff.
Right. Now, it neutralizes it. It's oh, see, Kathy's crazy too. They're all just crazy. You know what I mean? So to see Erica's face turn like this and be oh, everyone came for me for 2 years. Kyle, your sister said something crazy. She needs to own up for it. It's where is this coming from? You guys act like this is her. Look, again, if Kathy was Kim. Okay. Kim was crazy constantly. So would she have to explain her actions? I could see people wanting her to explain her actions because she constantly was doing something. Lisa constantly, Erica constantly has to explain their actions. Why? Because, I mean, these are big things and they're consistent things that happen. This is the first time. I mean, you got LaToya Jackson out here fending for Kathy Hilton at this point. Like, it's just like, okay, calm down. We don't need LaToya Jackson out here trying to do nothing.
Lionel Richie's first wife came out the woodwork. We was like, "Where was you at, sis?" And she was like, "I've known Kathy for 40 years."
Girl, Kathy on Tuesday or Wednesday was in Nicki Minaj's live, trying to find her a lesbian billionaire for something. I don't know what they were talking about, but I'm like, Kathy's out here. But so, you know, this one moment that somebody had, and again, maybe this is something that Kathy does regularly. I don't know. But you don't know that either. You just had this one experience. And the way y'all are making it feels so forced. That
Yes.
Then we find out, again, that they're a publicist. Well, Kyle says Erica's publicist did it. And Erica, I agree with Garcelle. If someone was like, you know, oh,
I have evidence.
Jesse,
Like,
one of your friends said this, the first thing I'd be like, wait, what? Which friend am I going to say that? Like, that's crazy. Like, I wouldn't instantly be no, but I'd be like, who you call my friend? Like, or someone, because Kyle was like, someone that works for you did this. She's like, no, they didn't. What? Why don't you be like, who? Wouldn't you be concerned? Like, me? Like, I would have been shocked. Like, me? I'm the one? What?
Somebody,
But actually, her first thing she said was, I don't even know how to do that. Girl, bye. Girl, bye.
I laughed out loud when she said that. Like, I don't know how to do it. Girl, stop. You've been entertaining for how many years? You know how to reach
a
a blog.
blog or an Instagrammer. Like, I'm just...
They call you all the time trying to get you on their shit. So stop playing.
Right.
DM and Instagram is real.
Yes, but I was dragged for 2 years for something I didn't even do.
I'm tired of her saying that.
So Kathy's gonna own up to it.
Girl, you were dragged for 2 years for being an asshole, not for stealing the money from the peoples.
Literally, because I had to be like, look, any innocent victim, I'm sorry. You could have worded it like that.
Yes.
But you didn't. You just couldn't. No, it's giving my brother kind of tea. And then my last quote was, this reunion's going to be good. I'm excited for it. I think that it can't go bad. You know what I mean? I think
it can't. It cannot.
I think that the 3 episodes could make one of them mediocre, but I think we're going to get at least 2
good
really juicy reunion episodes.
Yes.
If we get 3, there's only one time I really remember a 3-part. Okay, actually I have 2 parts. 2. Real Housewives of Atlanta. During the Nene, Kenya, Phaedra, those days. And then there was the Beverly Hills year with Kim and Lisa. Was it that one? I felt like those reunions, it was like, oh.
This was golden time.
Jam-packed. So hopefully we get that, because I feel like we haven't had like a real good reunion in a long
time. Like, no draggings, no like good arguments. Like, it's been pretty quiet on the reunion front.
Yep. The other thing I just was going to say is of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kandi is getting that $2 million check next season.
It is.
So
get your bag.
This is a random question to you, but on Bad Girls Club, they did this thing where they took Tanisha, who was from like the 2nd season, and she was like the most known bad girl of the Atlanta, and they made her the reunion host. Could you see Kandi being like the official OG, and like maybe Andy being like, and I mean, I'm not saying this is ever happening, I'm just how would you feel about it and having a housewife step into that position. She'd obviously have to be off Real Housewives of Atlanta because obviously that's biased. But would you be mad at that kind of a transition with this franchise? She understands the show and all that stuff.
I would say off the top, like my first reaction would be, I'm not mad because I do think that obviously she knows the shows and how they work. And I think that she also keeps it real enough that like it could be a good, like I feel like she would be like, nah, girl, I don't think that's what you meant. Like she'll give the follow-up in a way that I would like. But also, I think it wouldn't be great because I watch her YouTube show, Speak On It, which generally she has good guests and I enjoy whatever. But I don't feel like Kandi is she a Southern girl and she moves slow. Everything about her energy is very like slow and you pulling stuff out. Yeah. So I feel like pace wise, it would drive me insane, and I don't think that she would keep up in a way that makes me happy. I don't think she's bad at it. I just think that energy wise, she just doesn't give me what I need pace wise.
Agreed. Because I was thinking about the same thing. I was like, it could be a cool concept to have a housewife. Because that's what I thought was cool about Bad Girls. It's like, I've been in this. So y'all not going to,
you're not going over me. You're not getting over me. Yeah.
But like with Kandi, I feel like she's almost pigeonholed herself in that like, I know I make all this money, but I don't want to be the star or be the center of attention kind of a thing that where like I genuinely don't, I wouldn't want to sit and listen to Kandi talk for 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Like for long periods of time, I want to hear her answer because she does keep it real and she does that. But like to lead, like you said, to lead something in that, because watching those, I've watched a couple of them and it's just kind of like, it's not the pacing for me. Or even like her skits that she's doing. It's like the concept's funny, but like her execution of it, it's like, it's just not, to me, that's just not Kandi. And like, I don't know. So, but it'd be interesting. I don't think there's a housewife that I could see doing it. And so that's interesting how long this franchise could last. I mean, was Andy going to do this till he's, hey, girls, like Hugh Hefner, like, hey,
honestly, I mean, obviously she wasn't on the show very long, but I actually think Eva would do a good job as a host.
Oh, I mean, I could see that. She's good TV. Her personality just kills me. But
I feel like she has enough of the, like, I'm going to check you on your shit, but also I can keep energy-wise, pacing will work, but I also know how reality TV works. So
yeah, we'll give her that. She can do like the reboot for Top Model. No, don't touch Housewives. Thank you. I don't want that. But yeah,
I'm literally like going through the list of like all the OG like Housewives. What if they brought like Caroline Manzo back and did the hosting of the reunion?
Okay, guys. Look, I just want everyone to listen to me. My sons, they sell this black water, and you guys got to buy it. But Teresa, you're not going to tell me anything. It's like, no, no.
That's not going to work.
Also, the whole, just cancel whatever the fucking second reboot of Housewives New York y'all are doing. Like, just get the originals back. Like, or make it something so complete. Stop calling it a reboot. Just do like how you did the Paris thing.
Show. Like, just make a show.
The fact that the talk was Remy Ma was in consideration for this, I'm just like, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Before we do anything, everyone, can you share with the fans what your ideas are for this? And
didn't they release who was going to be on the reboot? Like on the younger quote unquote version, because it's like the girl who's scouting the city, the influencer. It was like 2 influencers and like some other people, and I thought that cast was set, and then they were still figuring out.
So what, they were gonna put Remy Ma with like Sonya?
No, I think that Remy Ma was being considered for that.
The younger one.
The younger demographic one. But again, those women aren't super young. I mean, they're 30-somethings and I think early 40-somethings. But yeah.
I mean, Remy Ma's got to be 40.
I mean, I think she is 40. Yeah. But like, that's young for Housewives.
No. Yeah. But again, it's not even that. It's just, I think because Remy was on Love and Hip Hop, it's just like, please, let's not go there.
Yeah, I mean, I could
it just
imagine
threw me off out of all the names that because I didn't hear the list you're talking about. So to hear Remy Ma was just like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm pretty sure.
Like, is Chrissy and Jim Jones gonna be on this too? Like, what?
No,
I don't
please.
know. We'll see.
No, it's enough. But I don't know. But we forgot Jersey is coming soon.
I know.
So,
and honestly, this season of Jersey, so that's why I'm like, okay, Atlanta can have their slack off season because Atlanta has always carried the torch. But hopefully, I mean, Beverly Hills has done great the last 2 years. Jersey, hopefully they gonna pick up the stick because I feel like the end of last season kind of meh. And then Potomac, and then Salt Lake. So all right, this fall gonna be real cute.
Fall, like we're doing okay. And when we want relief from the mess, watch Real Girlfriends in Paris.
Oh, I still haven't even done that one yet, but
It's cute.
But the Surreal Life is coming back. That was the other big thing. Beyond excited. Dennis Rodman, Tamar Braxton, Frankie Muniz. Those are off the top of my head that I could think of.
Is Tamar like
doing anything she can? Yeah.
I just don't. I'm surprised that she's doing reality TV again.
Why isn't she like friends with bloggers and like?
I mean, but she was like super. I mean, she attributes a lot of what she's been through. She's been through a lot.
I mean, I get it, but she went through that, and then she went on Big Brother, and now she's gonna do the Surreal Life, and apparently the Surreal Life is just about seeing Dennis Rodman's dick all the time. And I mean, he's trying to get Tamar in the bed, and I'm like, oh.
I'm not mad at that matchup. Let's do it.
I mean, that would be great. I feel like personality-wise, they
really fun.
Crazy, you know?
Like, I feel like Dennis Rodman is probably very sweet.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
To who he is with.
1,000,000%. I just feel like he smells not bad. I actually feel like he has a very particular smell. Like he's like one of those guys that wears like leather oil, like, and it's just like do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I just feel like I don't know, but I do think I actually think his looks are deceiving, but you know what I mean. I used to think Dennis Rodman was hot back in the day, like in like my Mike Tyson days.
I didn't. Oh, I never thought
my roster back in the day when I was like in high school was absurd. Looked like the Toon Squad. I mean,
wow.
My taste was all over the place. Like, actually, so funny. No one would even get this reference except for like Marissa. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I've been rewatching that, and there was this one guy in there, and I'm like, I cannot believe I used to like have the biggest crush on this guy, and I'm like,
now you're like, why?
Jesse. Horrified. But I don't know. We'll see what this week brings coming. Hopefully, just not in the Housewives world, we get some better tea than the Kanye and Kim thing, because I'm tired of talking about them. I don't want to care, but they are so
pervasive. They're everywhere.
Yeah, that it's like you almost have to talk about it, because the way I really be seeing like the polar opposite of fan bases too, of people who like genuinely are obsessed with them and ignore all the other shit. Then there are people who are like, I'll watch them. Like, I'll watch them. I'll watch the Kardashians, but like, I know what
real life is
going on.
And
I won't support them. I'm not buying my concrete vessel.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Marshalls. But we'll see, and what other reality shows come back. Also, y'all, let's stop watching Dahmer now. If you haven't seen it, watch a review on it on YouTube. Just let's stop giving that light.
It's literally the most streamed show ever on Netflix right now. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing.
Also, Crazy Life Jennings, like R&B guy. Like, did you watch that?
He used to sing, and the dude
Jeffrey Dahmer liked to sing. There's just some stories. It's like, look, if he was on the show and like we're like pulling it out of him, like, okay, you talking with people, like you just was like one day like, hey, I want to just talk about, and he was just like, and then bro called me up there, bro, did you watch the fucking show?
Yeah, and that's why I was like, it feels very much like you're just like ooh, I'm gonna get my attention again. They're talking about Dahmer. Let me bring this up, and it just feels gross. It just feels gross.
Like you could have did a song. You could have released a song.
Baby, just sing, honey. We would actually pay attention because you could sing. You crazy as hell from what I heard, but like, just sing, bro.
Yeah, he crazy. Yeah. Where's Jaheim? I'm just kidding. Let me stop. Let me go to bed. Okay.
I was like, girl. You did not say Jaheim. Is Jaheim making music?
Probably not, but I just missed his voice for a quick second.
Jaheim, honey. He was
it for a minute. He was
singing. He was thug fine, and you were just like, yes, Jaheim.
Back in the day, we used to have them chesticles. You know what I'm saying? He used to have some chesticles.
Real testicles. Here
voice.
We go. We're like, woohoo!
Now we sound like we really showing our age. Now we sitting over here going up over Jaheim.
Like, oh, he was fine. He was fine. He was banging up.
I'm gonna put him right in my little purse with Mike Tyson and my Dennis Rodman. We're gonna zip that up and throw it away.
Bag and feel like it's 2003 all over again, baby.
Where's your baby fat? All right. Shout out to you guys watching and anyone that was watching. You guys didn't participate in the comments. My fault because I didn't really vocalize that, and I should more often. But leave a comment down below. Contact me through the DMs. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit Courtney up. Tweet us. Tag us in stories. Whatever you guys. You know
what y'all looking at? What y'all talking about?
Talk with us. We want you to be a part of the conversation. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a like and a comment. We love you. Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
I'm all over the Instagrammers and the Twitters at Stuart Starlet.
Boom. You can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J. So until next week, same time, same place. Peace.